Hi everyone, this is Patrick Dennis with the very first episode of Outdoors 365. Now this is a program about fishing, about hunting, about families enjoying the great outdoors, and you know what? We live in an area we can do that 365 days a year. Now that is where the name all came from. Outdoors 365. Now I'm oftentimes asked, Patrick, why did you come up with the idea to do a program? Now personally, I believe this area that we call the Arklatex has been wanting, has been craving for a program about the great outdoors, and that is why I'm doing it. And it started several years ago as far as the idea in my head. But really and truly, you gotta go back to some more recent time, back to August of 2013, when I had a chance to cover the Forest Wood Cup by the FLW Tour when it came to town on the banks of the Red River, and that is where everything got going. The race is on to who will be crowned the next Forest Wood Cup champion. Everybody wants to walk away with that big prize again 2 years in a row.
That would be really nice.
So, but I mean, how challenging is it you think it's going to be though this year compared to last year for you?
I feel like just the body of water itself is so challenging. Once you throw this body of water, plus the cup, plus all the lights and the cameras, and the attention this tournament gets, it'll be tough.
Yeah, this is going to be a grind. This is going to be one of those tournaments where you're going to have to fish for 5 bites.
3, 2, 1. Day number 2, Forest Wood Cup, getting ready to kick off.
I mean, for a while there, it looked like I was going to be the only one in the tournament to zero. I just go fishing and then let the fish tell me what they want to do.
These we have here. The mental game will be at play today.
If I can put them in the boat, the next 2 days ought to be really good.
Well, I told you I was going to switch my whole game plan around, and it worked, man. It's always nice when it works, you know. If it hadn't worked, we wouldn't be talking and I'd look like an idiot.
The final day is here, day number 4, Forest Wood Cup.
Freeport, Bossier City area, it's been wonderful. If they'll have us back, I'll be glad to come back.
Brand new book, 11 ounces, your champion is brand new book. Presentation,
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 days I ran around just testing the water. I mean, trying to figure out a way to win. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, when I got the big bites yesterday afternoon, I knew how to win. I knew what I had to do today.
It is just another ordinary Saturday morning for this former Genoa High School student. Check the fishing gear, unload the boat, and then off on the lake.
My dad got me fishing when I was real young. I started fishing tournaments by myself when I was about 13 on Derrick's Lake.
Well, November is here, the temperatures are cooling down, but I tell you what, now is the time for you to get out, hit the river, hit the lake, and do a little bass fishing. What should you look for?
Look for shad. Bass schooling on shad.
Tell you what, living in South Florida, living on Lake Okeechobee, you know, I've heard of Caddo Lake, and I've read the articles of guys catching 15 and 16-pound bass out here. And you know, when you think of one of the top fisheries, you know, in Texas, Louisiana area, Caddo Lake is on the top of the list, in my opinion.
The cold weather may have delayed the start of the white bass season and may have made things a little tough when it comes to trying to find them, but the Sabine River in East Texas is starting to turn on.
Here, just look at that every cast.
For years, Greg Kraft has been taking clients on the river this time of year. And while the white bass season has been a little slow, it is now heating up, and now is the time to head out. What is really neat about the rattle trap is that most of them still are made by hand. From the initial process of putting the beads inside of the bait, to putting the hooks on, and even the detailed painting. We're on the shores of Caddo Lake, about to meet up with fishing guide Paul Keith. One thing Paul knows a lot about is fishing on this lake. And this time around, we are doing a little fishing about an hour and a half before a cold front hits. So we're going to give it a try and see how it goes before the weather turns nasty. We can see the darker clouds coming in on the horizon now, and so the storm is getting closer. We've been out here for probably about an hour. We likely only have about 20 to 30 minutes left before the front hits.
The wind has started shifting. Now it's getting cold and windy, and this kind of fishing hit right before a cold front.
The actual cold front has made its way through the area. The winds have shifted. They've started to gust now, more so out of the west-northwest. And as you can already tell, the action is heating up a little bit for Paul.
There's a wall of it coming right there.
Good news is, paddle 10 minutes out in the boat for the very first time being in a kayak, and I am still dry. How many times have you fallen out of the kayak?
I have yet to take a spill.
Starting at 5, we're going to 7.
It is pretty easy to tell a spring weekend is quickly approaching with a number of people visiting the local tackle shop. When it comes to tying flies, it's almost like an artist working on his latest masterpiece. Obviously, it's now time for me to attempt to make the same fly that Howard made. I got scissors, I got thread. Why is this deer hair blue exactly? For a novice like myself, making a fly takes a little bit longer. And if you follow Paul's lead and advice, there's a good chance the guest in the boat will also make fishing look easy. So many stories to tell. Stay tuned, more still ahead on Outdoors 365.
Now, Meineke Car Care Centers has 3 locations for your convenience in Shreveport and Bossier. See Meineke today for a $19.95 Pennzoil oil change with complete inspection and free tire rotation. We do all vehicle repairs with 0% interest for up to 12 months. Visit a Meineke Car Care Center close to you today.
What do all these employers have in common? They all have hired graduates from Northwest Louisiana Technical College in Shreveport. While the name and the look of the school has changed during the past 77 years, the purpose remains the same, preparing men and women for the ever-changing workforce. Now it's your turn. Earn an associate's degree, technical diploma, or certificate in more than 24 training programs. Be a part of history by preparing for your future at Northwest Louisiana Technical College. For more information, call us or log on to nwltc.edu.
It can easily be called Louisiana's best-kept secret. Sitting only 70 miles south of Shreveport, you will find this hidden jewel on the banks of Toledo Bend. This is Cypress Bend Resort. At Cypress Bend, comfort meets splendor. Elegant accommodations meet a nationally recognized 18-hole championship golf course. Whether you need a place for your next corporate outing or just a quiet family getaway, memories are waiting to be made at Cypress Bend Resort.
Now, Meineke Car Care Centers has 3 locations for your convenience in Shreveport and Bossier. We do all vehicle repairs, brakes, front ends, new tires and wheels, oil change, and alignments. And no credit check financing. Visit a Meineke Car Care Center close to you today.
Outdoors 365, presented by your local Meineke Car Care Centers of Shreveport, Bossier City, continues. Sponsored in part by Cypress Bend Resorts on Toledo Bend.
Welcome back, everybody, to our very first episode of Outdoors 365. I'm Patrick Dennis, and in case you haven't figured it out, I'm actually on the banks here of Toledo Bend, and this is one of our crown jewels in the Arklatex. Now, we have many other ones, but this just happens to be one that is known nationwide and perhaps worldwide as well. I'm actually at the Cypress Bend Resort, proud to say they are one of our founding sponsors, and we are happy to have them on board. Now, I know a lot of folks a lot of times will want to make a trip right here in the Arklatex, maybe come visit Cypress Bend. But just in case you want to visit somewhere else outside of the Arklatex, have no fear, I have it covered. I love to travel. So that's one of the things we're going to do with Outdoors 365 is help give families an idea where to take trips. Take a look.
Every day, thousands of people cross it but only a few take time to actually travel on it. If you did, you would soon see all of its beauty and history. It is the Red River, and it is so vital to this area we call the Sportsman's Paradise.
The Red River is the 8th longest river in the United States, but it's the cleanest river in the United States because it doesn't have any pollution in it. It doesn't have any industry on it. They're not dumping any pollutants in the water.
Another beautiful sunrise just outside of Durango, Colorado, on the HD Ranch, a little more than 1,000 miles from the Arklatex. For 6 nights, this was our home, a guest house on a local horse ranch. Durango is no stranger to folks from the Arklatex. Many of folks from our parts have taken trips here to take in the views of the snowy mountaintops and unbelievable scenery. Thought I'd talk a little bit about something making headlines in Shreveport, our first microbrewery opening up. But that is something that has been around for years in Colorado and also right here in Durango, Colorado. So we thought we'd make a visit to one that has proven to be very successful.
This is some of our barley.
This is Dave, one of the co-founders of Ska Brewing in Durango, Colorado. When it comes to spending time in the outdoors, there isn't a shortage of places to visit and things to do around here. It is pretty easy to see why we call this area the Sportsman's Paradise. We've had the chance to learn about fishing for sand bass on the Sabine River and largemouth bass on Caddo Lake.
This week I wanted to take you somewhere a little different, a much smaller body of water, but I can tell you one thing, it has so much to offer on the water and surrounding it. It's located just north of Bossier City. It's the Cypress Black Bayou Recreation Area.
Of course, you can find the typical things to do on this lake, like boating and fishing, but there is literally something for the entire family here.
As you can see, I like to travel, that's right. So if you have any ideas on neat little places to check out, really and truly here in the Arklatex, Northwest Louisiana, East Texas, Southwest Arkansas, Southeast Oklahoma, let me know and we would love to make a visit. Send me an email, pdennis@outdoors365tv.com. You can visit our webpage or also visit us on Facebook, facebook.com/outdoors365tv. I won't know about these places if you, for some reason, forget to tell me about them. So send me an email and let me know. Now, real quick here, one of our sponsors here on our program happens to be the Gray Wolf Fly Shop. That's right, talking about fly fishing, and it has much more to do than just fishing for trout in streams up north. Each week, Gray Wolf Fly Shop and Howard Malpass, the owner, will give us some tips. Take a look at this week's tips, and we'll be back in just a moment with more Outdoors 365.
Hi, this is Howard Malpass with the Gray Wolf Fly Shop. Small fly fishing tip of the week. A lot of people use leaders and no tippets. What I like to do is show you what I call the money knot. Now the money knot is when you're starting to use your tippet with your leader. Now we have 5X, 6X tippet material, and then of course we have 5X or 6X leader. Now, for the sake of not wearing your cheater glasses or something, we're going to put those out of the way and we're going to use some a little bit larger thread. Now, normally what you'll do is you're going to take two sections, overlap them about a foot. Loop one. It has to be like a spring. Loop it, then come back through it 3 times. And then work it off to the side. All right, now come to the other side, do it exactly as you did the other one. Go through it 3 times. Now, this is a lot more difficult when you're on the water and you got the reflection of the sun and everything else. However, it's still pretty easy. Once you have that, you pull them together, clip your tags, and this will save you money. You can tie up to 6 flies on your tippet material before you change them out. Come by the fly shop, have a cup of coffee, and I'll be glad to show you more. Thank you.
The Gray Wolf Fly Shop has everything you need for your next fly fishing trip. From rods to reels, attire to kayaks. Gray Wolf Fly Shop is your full-service fly shop carrying the highest quality products. Want to learn how to tie flies? Not a problem. Gray Wolf offers classes on how to tie flies and so much more. Go by today and see Howard at the Gray Wolf Fly Shop off of Southern and Piermont, or visit them online. Before you head out on your next fishing trip, make sure you stop by Bacon's Tackle. Since 1926, Bacon's Tackle has been serving the area with all your fishing needs, including custom-made bait, specialty gear, and those hard-to-find items. Need live bait? Bacon's has it all. Koi, shiners, crickets, night crawlers, and more. Bacon's Tackle. Go by today and tell Mike and the crew hi. Outdoors 365, presented by your local Meineke Car Care Centers of Shreveport, Bossier City, continues. Sponsored in part by Northwest Louisiana Technical College and Sound Fighter Systems, home of the legendary LSE Absorptive Noise Barrier System.
Welcome back, everyone. Patrick Dennis with Outdoors 365. This is our premiere episode, and in this episode, we're really just talking about what we're going to be talking about in future episodes to give you a little bit of an idea of what you can expect. Now, I'm going to tell you real quick, I am not a pro when it comes to fishing. You don't believe me? Okay, I think most of you do believe me when I say that. But the thing of it is, you can ask anybody I fish with and the various guides that help me out, from Greg Crafts, Paul Keith, Bruce Brown, and they will be able to admit that part. But all of us need to get educated every once in a while. So that is why I'm proud to say that we have on board as a sponsor the FLW. And we're going to go show you right now what you can expect from them in these segments that we call Fishing 101.
This is FLW Fishing 101. I'm Kyle Wood, and on this episode, we're going to discuss some of the important characteristics of fishing rods. These characteristics can be found above the reel seat on the blank of the rod and will tell you length, power, and action of that particular rod. First, let's talk power. Power refers to how much pressure it takes to bend or flex the rod. It's measured on a scale from ultralight all the way to extra heavy. These rod powers are designed to efficiently handle certain lure weights and line sizes. For example, if I was going to go pan fishing with a 32nd ounce jig and 4-pound test line, I'd probably use an ultralight power rod. On the other end of the spectrum, if I was going to punch mats with 65-pound braid and a 2-ounce weight, I'd use an extra heavy power. But you can't mention power without bringing up our next characteristic, action. The action of a fishing rod is determined by where it flexes along the blank. Actions range from slow all the way to extra fast. Fast action rods flex more near the tip, moderate action rods flex more in the middle, and slow action rods flex down near the butt or end of the rod. The most common type of action manufactured by rod companies is a fast action. The reason for that is it's versatile and can suit most any technique you'd wish to use. Slower action rods tend to be utilized more in technique and species specific rods, such as crankbait rods for bass. Now, one thing I see a lot when I go into the store is people trying to test a rod by holding on to it and just kind of shaking it. I have no idea what they're doing, but you're not really learning anything from that. The other thing I see people do, which is a big no-no, is grabbing the rod by the tip and pulling it down. It's a great way to break a rod, and again, it doesn't really give you a sense for what that rod can do. Now, the thing I recommend doing is grab a hold of that rod, whether it's a spinning rod or a bait caster, and hold it so the eyelets face the ceiling. You want to place the rod down on the ground so the tip barely touches it, hold on to the reel seat, and just apply some gentle pressure. Now, what that'll do is you'll visually be able to see the action of the rod, and you'll also get a sense of the power the rod has based on how much pressure it takes to flex the rod. The final characteristic we're going to cover today is rod length. Rod companies offer rods ranging from 6 foot to 8 foot, with the general trend in fishing over the past few years leaning towards longer rods. The reason for that is you can make a longer cast, and you can also pick up more line on a hook set, giving you a better chance at landing that fish. Small rods also have their time and place and work well in specific situations like skipping docks or laydowns when accurate casts are needed. They also work when fishing vertically next to the boat and you're using your electronics to mark specific fish you intend on catching. Some companies out there offer both 1-piece and 2-piece rods. 2-piece rods are great for people where space is limited. Say, for example, you want to pack a rod to go on a hike, or you need to transport it in the trunk of your car. But for the more serious angler, you want to lean towards a 1-piece design. 1-piece rods offer better sensitivity because they don't have a joint to dampen the vibration of a bite like a 2-piece rod does. 1-piece rods are also more durable and offer a wider variety of lengths, powers, and actions to better suit your fishing style. In future episodes, we'll go more in depth into selecting certain rods for specific techniques. For now, This covers basic characteristics of fishing rods. I'm Kai Wood, and this has been FLW Fishing 101. And don't forget, click the subscribe button.
Wow. Great to have FLW on board as a sponsor, and you know what, we're going to be giving away some neat things from FLW in the weeks to come, so make sure you pay attention and stay tuned for that. Now, one of the things that when somebody goes fishing, an angler never does is tell a tale about how big his or her catch was. Yeah, right. Make sure you stick around. I'm going to talk about something called Catch of the Week and how you can participate.
Now, Meineke Car Care Centers has 3 locations for your convenience in Shreveport and Bossier. See Meineke today for a 1995 Pennzoil oil change with complete inspection and free tire rotation. We do all vehicle repairs with 0% interest for up to 12 months. Visit a Meineke Car Care Center close to you today.
It can easily be called Louisiana's best kept secret. Sitting only 70 miles south of Shreveport, you will find this hidden jewel in the banks of Toledo Bend. This is Cypress Bend Resort. At Cypress Bend, comfort meets splendor. Elegant accommodations meet a nationally recognized 18-hole championship golf course. Whether you need a place for your next corporate outing or just a quiet family getaway, memories are waiting to be made at Cypress Bend Resort.
Now, Meineke Car Care Centers has 3 locations for your convenience in Shreveport and Bossier. We do all vehicle repairs, brakes, front ends, new tires and wheels, oil change, and alignments. And no credit check financing. Visit a Meineke Car Care Center close to you today.
Outdoors 365 continues, sponsored in part by FLW, Fishing League Worldwide, and Bacon's Tackle, serving the area since 1926.
Welcome back, everybody, to Outdoors 365, presented by your Meineke Car Care Centers in Shreveport and Bossier City. Make sure you check out all 3 of their locations, and we are very happy to have them on board as our title sponsor for Outdoors 365. Okay, one of the things you never hear from an angler happens to be a fishtail, right? Wrong. You ask them how big the fish was, they say, oh, it was this big, and it actually turned out to be this big. Well, here's a chance for you to brag. It is called our Catch of the Week. All you have to do is submit your photo, and you could be picked each week and end up winning a nice little prize as well. So make sure you send your picture in to pdennis@outdoors365tv.com or send it to COTW. That's Catch of the Week. COTW@outdoors365tv.com, and you could be seen right here each week as our winner. Okay, this week's winner, let's take a look.
This week's Catch of the Week goes to Adam Harbuck. It is a nice 22.5-inch largemouth bass caught on a Red River oxbow while Adam is out kayak fishing. For being this week's winner, Adam, you're going to get a free digital FLW membership and an Outdoors 365 goodie pack.
And that's our Catch of the Week for this week. Again, don't forget to get in your submission now to have a chance to get picked and a chance to brag as well. Stick around, everybody. One more segment coming up. Outdoors 365 continues right after this break.
Outdoors 365 is back, sponsored in part by Bayou Pirates Kayak Fishing and the Gray Wolf Fly Shop.
Welcome back, everyone, to Outdoors 365, and that just about wraps things up for our very first episode. This week, we really were just trying to give you a little bit of a taste of what you can expect here when you tune in. So make sure you keep joining us each and every week as we talk about the great outdoors. A real quick thank you to our title sponsor, Meineke Car Care Center in Shreveport. They have 3 locations, 2 in Bossier City and 1 in Shreveport. Go by and tell Shane hi and check them out. Also, a big thanks to our sponsors as well.
Northwest Louisiana Technical College, the Gray Wolf Fly Shop, Cypress Bend Resort, Sound Fighter Systems, Bacon's Tackle, Tight Lines Jewelry, Zipper Worms, Rattle Trap Lures, V&M Lures, and All About Mickey Vacation Planning.
And that does it for us this week. Check back next week, and always make sure you do everything you can to celebrate the great outdoors. I'm Patrick Dennis. Have a great week and happy fishing.